Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at Tweet 4 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. Gentlemen, aspiring gentlemen, and of course, our partners that hold us down. I'm Ron Grant. Welcome back to Season 7 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show that is poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Now don't worry, it doesn't always involve suits and bow ties, but instead, real-life lessons that truly translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. Thank you all for taking this journey with me. My next guest today is by far one of the most talented young professionals across the Virgin Islands. He's an educator and a musical genius. You know him as Don Andre, and of course, you know the school, Don Man, School of Music. We talk music, family, fellowship, and faith. One of the best and brightest of our generation. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. As promised, we are joined by the very talented and humble, the one and only Don Andre Millwood. Don Man, as we affectionately call you, thank you so much and welcome to our platform.
Yes, Ron. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting.
A pleasure.
Now, when I said in the intro, one of the most talented and by far one of the most humble young professionals that we have today, that was by no stretch. You have continued to bless us with your talent. And not only that, you've been imparting your wisdom and knowledge when it comes to music to the next generation.
Right.
As an educator, owning and operating your own music school. But you continue to just be so cool, calm, and laid back all the time.
Right.
One would wonder, does Don Man ever get upset? Do you ever get annoyed? Is there ever a moment where you are not always as cool and calm as you
Right.
come across to be?
Yeah, definitely. I'm human, not perfect. So I do have days teaching wise where students give you a hard time, which is normal. Some of it stems from issues at home and not more so that they're trying to be rude in the classroom. You know, sometimes children are misunderstood. So I'm learning more patience in that regard. And of course, life in general.
Yes.
You know, random stuff happens. You know, on my way here, had a flat tire, tried to patch it, and then I had to go deal with it again. You know, weird stuff. Yesterday, I had a dead battery on my truck. I had to jump start it 3 times, and I had a flat tire today. List goes on. So sometimes I do get impatient, but I remind myself that that's just life. You know, and at the end of the day, those things are simple things. You know, and I still am thankful. You know,
Beautiful.
I have so much to be thankful for.
Amazing, amazing. When I talk about your demeanor, it is one that I think complements the teaching profession, and I have to give you your props in sticking with it. You've been in teaching now over 10 years.
Right.
What introduced you to the profession of being an educator?
It all started back in 2015. I graduated high school in 2015, and that's when I was doing music a lot. I was in jazz band, Phoenix band, junior band, and senior band.
Wow.
And steel band. All of them in my last year in high school, in 5th form. And after that, I wanted to have like a side job while I was doing college. I was studying general science at the time. So I heard about Haragon School of Music. I actually wanted to go there like when I was younger, but my parents couldn't afford it. But I was like, you know, well, I play a few instruments already. You know, let me see if I could get a job there. So I spoke to Mr. Harrigan, and he just took me under his wing
Beautiful.
one time. So started there, started to teach, I think it was 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. So had to be back and forth between college, going there, going back up to college. So it started there, and then Alma came, as we all know, 2017. And then the music school got destroyed. You know, it still kind of pains me to this day, honestly. So he decided to move away. And I felt bad because he had like 100 students, probably more than that at the time. I was like, well, who's going to teach music, you know? So that's what propelled me to start my own music
Beautiful.
school, honestly. So less than a year later, April 9th, 2018, that's when I started Donman School of Music. So started at Church of God Holiness Eastern downstairs, and then just went from there. Before that, I taught at Homegrown Music Academy under Brent Hoyt. Was there for a few months before I started on my own. And then in 2019, I went to the UK to get my bachelor's in music.
Beautiful.
And then when I came back, I went into teaching for government of the Virgin Islands.
Amazing, amazing. I love the fact that you were so compelled and so concerned about what would essentially happen to the students who were training and studying music at Harrigan School of Music, that it propelled you to start your
Right.
own school. When we talk about the gift of music and the ability to kind of zero in on your different talents, you mentioned so eloquently about being a part of pretty much every band in your senior
Right.
year of high school. And I have to talk about that because I'm not sure if many persons understand the breadth of talent that comes from the BVI High School, Elmore Star High
right,
School
right.
music program. But with that comes an immense level of discipline. I
Right.
want you to speak to that discipline that you would have had to exercise, and now the discipline that you see in your students as a teacher.
Right. Yeah, definitely BVI. Well, when I was there, Elmore Star High School, had the best teachers. My main teacher was Mr. Brandon Powell. So thankful for him. He's the best of the best. Very humble. To me, sometimes too humble, because he's just a great person, great bass player. But they actually set the map, you know, to show us, you know, how to be disciplined, you know, how to be humble, how to work hard. So through them, him, Mr. Bradwood, they really set the roadmap for us. Not just me, but other people that I see
course.
that are musicians as well. The other question was
The discipline
Yeah,
that comes with it.
right. So that came along. So I just watched how they were and how they would practice and how they would motivate us to practice. So through that, I learned discipline. But on my own, music was something that I always wanted to do. It was something that I loved, still love. I'm still loving it more and more. So for me, I didn't know that it would reach this point that I would be teaching, honestly, or even have my own music school. That was never my goal.
Gotcha.
You know, my goal was to be an automotive engineer. Then I wanted to be a biomedical engineer. But then I was like, that wasn't really my passion. You know,
Gotcha.
my passion was always music. So I decided to give music a try in terms of teaching. And then that's when I realized, okay, this is what I really wanted to do. So through it being my passion, it helped fuel my discipline.
Exceptional, exceptional. I have to talk about your remarkable upbringing because you, for anyone that knows you, you speak so highly of your parents,
Right.
and you're so very appreciative of all that they've done for you. I want to talk about that love and admiration that you have for them and they have for you. What's that like?
It's the best. It wasn't always the best
Okay.
in terms of me being a rebellious boy,
Okay.
like when I was young. You know, you're young, you don't know better. Like when I was younger, I wanted to go on the block because I thought that it was cool, you know, or I wanted to lime or party. I mean, nothing is wrong with partying, but I wanted to fit in, you know, and they always taught me that I shouldn't fit in, you know, and I should follow Christ, put Christ first, and you know, don't really follow the world. So during those times, I was upset at them. I was like, "What are you talking about? You old school. You don't understand the new world." You know, obviously they were right. But I'm thankful so much for them. They still help me a lot in life. I kind of feel bad because I feel like at this point I should be giving back to them,
Mm-hmm.
which I am. But I mean, me in terms of giving back to them, I just want to buy them a house, and retire them.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's the
The
goal.
dream, yeah.
Um, Probably still a few years out, but I'm just so thankful for them. They still show me unconditional love. And I always tell them, I'm like, wow, 26 years later, y'all still love me.
Hmm.
They still show unconditional love. And it's something I'm really thankful for.
Amazing. I have to ask you specifically though about your dad,
Right,
because in having such a strong foundation, and we're going to get to faith,
right,
which I know is a huge part of your life.
right.
Uh, a lot of what we see today, and you would see in your students as well, is the lack of a father or
Oh,
father
yeah,
figure.
definitely.
And of course, we could see how that would reflect negatively on the generations that we're seeing now. But for
Right,
you to have had and still have
right,
your father play such a crucial role in your life and still be around to see you succeed, what does that
right.
mean to you?
It means everything. Honestly, well, can't really put it all into
Mm-hmm.
words, um, but he has always been there for me. Like literally, I really can't speak of a time that he wasn't there for me. He has always led by example.
Mm-hmm.
He has always showed me the true art of hard work. One thing with him, I must say, he's one of the hardest working persons I know. I like as at his age, I don't know how he still does it,
Mm-hmm.
but he motivates me every day to work hard. Some days I'd be like, boy, I'm not able.
Mm-hmm.
But he out the house from 5 o'clock in the morning.
Still.
Yeah, coming back home 10 o'clock at night. So he has been a great role model for me. Um, Even growing up, he tried to toughen me up.
Okay.
I didn't understand it, so I used to cry a lot from it. Now I regret not taking it, but I just didn't understand. He was trying to teach me how to be a man.
Understood.
But really, truly, it's a blessing.
Amazing. You, for as long as I've known you, have worn your faith on your sleeve. And outside of teaching, outside of your music school, you give of your time and talents to the church
Right.
when it comes to musical accompaniment. Tell us about your relationship with Christ and what that faith-based grounding um, has meant to you.
Yeah, it's meant a lot to me. Um, Definitely wasn't always easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Temptations are always there. And I won't say that I was always perfect along the way. I've stumbled along the way. But all of what I've accomplished, even though it's not, a huge big thing, the little that I've accomplished is, of course, God, and me putting God first, especially like when I was younger, He really directed my paths.
Mm.
I mean, it sounds cliche, I kind of sound old right now, because that's what the old people say, but
No, you're right.
it's all very true, you know. With the decisions that I made years ago, they have affected my life now in a positive way. And that's because I was grounded. Again, not perfect, of course, but I always ask God to, God, show me,
Mm.
what to do, where to go, what should I do career wise, who should I choose for a spouse, different things, all of those important decisions. And I've realized that, like, along the way, um, it's not easy, in terms of making decisions. Sometimes you want to hear from God, and then sometimes you have your own desires.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go this route, and you realize, okay, this probably is not the best thing for you, and then God is trying to show you, okay, let's go the harder path, you know. So overall, up and down, but definitely worth it.
Amazing. You and I share a few mentors.
Right.
We share a group of people of like-minded who have poured into us. The late great, literally, we've been touched by an angel through the life of
Yeah.
the late Sister Anna Gracia Joseph,
Right.
Pastor Calvin Mills,
Right.
Sister Janice George Harris. What does it mean for you to be surrounded by such beautiful, grounded people that they don't they don't take. They do so much of pouring
Right,
into,
right,
and uplifting.
right.
What has that done for you? Because it
Um,
sure as hell has done a lot for me.
right. I mean, same for me. I always think about them, especially Sister Gracie, because she was the pastor at the time when I was at Church of God Holiness, when the music school started there. So she always fought for me. She would always encourage me, always pray for me. She always told me, listen, I want you to do great. I want you to be successful. Pastor Mills, he's my pastor, a good mentor, no nonsense person, which I like about him. You know, really, he's a true man of God, and he has always supported me as well. There's other people in my life, Cromwell Smith, he helped me a lot with starting the music school as well. There's so much more other people in the church. I don't want to start calling names, but honestly, they have been such a great help in my life in terms of, laying the foundation, for me to get where I am today.
Beautiful. When we speak of passing it on or
Right.
giving back, you mentioned quite a lot about what you do, but I'd just like to take a moment to allow you to recognize for one moment, if you haven't already done so, the level of impact and influence that you have made in your very short time of being on the face of this earth through music, through teaching.
Right.
When you go to a Don Man's school recital,
Right.
you see persons from all different ages. You
Right.
see the toddlers, the little kids,
Right.
teenagers, straight up to adulthood.
Right.
And I find it so gratifying and so beautiful because it really speaks to the idea that it's never too late
Right.
to
Definitely.
start or to start over.
Right.
When you look at your students and you reflect on their progress and their success, having worked with them, and then being able to see them on stage, just
Right.
really shining, what does that do for you as an instructor?
It's one of the best feelings ever, if I'm being honest. My first recital, I cried. Of course, I wiped my tears quickly. But my first recital, I was like, wow, this is what I always wanted. Not knowing that is what I wanted, but in a moment I realized, this is what
This was really it.
yeah. So, from the young ones to the oldest ones, my oldest student right now is probably 74.
Beautiful.
Maybe 75. So to me, teaching, especially at the music school, to me, it's not work. It's more so like a joy for me, because for me, it's more than just teaching. I mentor a lot of students, so they are able to talk to me about, life situations, not just me, but to our staff as well. We have amazing staff, and they have the same relationship with the students as well. So for me, it's more than just teaching. I try to show them the way about life. Sometimes they're frustrated themselves. Sometimes they don't know where to go. Sometimes they want to fit in. So for me, I'm glad that I could guide them, beyond music. So to me, that's worth it, giving back to them more than just through music.
Of course, and contributing and giving back to the village that essentially would have helped to raise you.
Definitely.
What would you say has been one of your biggest lessons so far in life? Your biggest takeaways?
Oh, there's so many. But be kind always, be humble. Be patient with people. Sometimes people try to get on your nerves. Sometimes it's unintentional. Sometimes life is just so hard for them, and when they are upset at you, sometimes they're not upset at you, it's just they bringing out their frustrations at you. So sometimes, well, most times, almost always, a soft answer turn it away right. I think that's what the Bible says.
It does.
So for me, even though it's hard, very hard, I might add, but being kind and being humble, but have a balance with it. Of course, if you're too kind, people will walk over you.
Showing grace as much as you can.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I'm still learning that every day. Especially on the road. Jeez, driving on the road. That's one of,
that's a daily test, you say?
Yeah, definitely.
What would you say is one of your biggest pet peeves in life?
injustice,
Mm.
having to be the bigger person when you shouldn't have to be,
Mm.
you know. And this goes back to, trying to be kind always,
Yeah. Yeah.
because sometimes people might just lash out at you for no reason. It ain't your fault, but you have to be the bigger person still. Sometimes people in the wrong and you showing them that they in the wrong and they still vex at you, and then you still have to be the bigger person. Or if you show the same energy that they show to you, you wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me it's just injustice. Like, I don't like to see, like, when things are unfair. I know, like, life is unfair, but like there's just certain things.
I understand wholeheartedly what you mean.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, there's a good old song that says there's a place for people like you, and no doubt there's a place for people like you, because
Right.
I could learn a lot from you.
Likewise.
Yeah, and I
Right.
appreciate it. But your level of empathy
Right.
for mankind is one that should be emulated in our ability to just, as you would say, be kind and have a
Right.
little bit of patience.
Right.
Not a mean person, but
Right.
I can
Yeah,
improve
yeah.
on a lot of those
Right,
areas.
right. Yeah.
So grateful for that. I have to ask you, in hindsight, 2020, looking towards the future, what would you say is next for Don Man?
Well,
If
I
you can
do.
speak.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Well, I also have a recycling business.
Okay. Tell us
Virgin
about that.
Islands. Yeah, so it's called Virgin Islands Recycling Services. So basically, well, we are freelance through the recycling field. So we pick up recyclables, we collect them, we drop them off to the collection points. Right now, our business, we're in charge of crushing most of the country's glass. So
Okay.
we collect them from the community bins around the island, and then we carry to Parkwood Pond to be crushed. So the long-term goal is to be able to use the glass to be crushed. The crushed glass to be put in the roads.
Okay.
Really needed right now, obviously. So basically, that's what we do. We install community bins as well. You'd see some of the new ones out.
Okay.
So we work in conjunction with Green VI.
Beautiful.
Basically.
Beautiful. Well, I would like to take this opportunity to wholeheartedly and sincerely thank you for being, first of all, being yourself always.
Oh, thank you.
And secondly, for really imparting your love and wisdom and understanding for music to the next generation.
Right.
You are a gift and a treasure to us, and I can't speak for anyone else, but
Right.
I'm proud of you, and we see you,
Right.
and we acknowledge the remarkable work that you're doing.
Right.
And I wish you nothing but the best on this amazing journey. Godspeed.
Right.
Keep doing the damn thing.
I appreciate that, Ron. Thank you so much for having
You're
me.
most welcome.
When you approached me, I was like, wow. I was like, I feel good,
Yeah.
So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And that is true. I know that over the years, I see, like, you shared my stuff sometime on WhatsApp, or I think the recital last year,
course.
you even reached out to me. Of
present,
course,
yes.
you didn't have to, but I do appreciate it. It's the small stuff that go a long way.
Indeed.
So
All right.
thanks a lot, man.
Love and light, man.
Yeah, man. Done.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were here with the one and only Don Man, as we know him, Don Andre Millwood, the very talented gift that keeps on giving, an educator for over 10 years. And of course, you know of Don Man's School of Music, which if you don't already know, if you have a child or even yourself, age is nothing but a number, and he will accept you and help you along this journey. Again, I'm so honored to be presenting the very best and brightest of these beautiful Virgin Islands. You have been watching The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 7. Let's go.